Spurgeon here with RevZilla, and in this video we're going to break down the new Speed and Strength SS2100 helmet available at RevZilla.com. So for 2019, Speed and Strength has updated their entire helmet line, and the 2100 is going to be the new entry-level lid coming in around the $170 price point. What you're going to see here is an ABS plastic shell. Two different shell sizes are available. First shell size will go from extra small up to large. Second shell size will go from extra large up to 2 extra large. You have a DOT ECE rating, and that ECE rating is now carried across the entire Speed and Strength line for their helmets. 3 pounds 7 ounces in a large when we threw this on the scale, and it has a neutral oval head shape. So really what we mean by that is instead of saying intermediate oval, it is leaning a little bit more towards the round oval side, something in between intermediate and round. A little bit shorter front to back, a little bit more room on the side of the head, and it's going to work for the majority of you folks out there that do have a little bit more of a round oval head shape compared to an intermediate or a long oval head shape. Now, when we're looking at this within Speed and Strength's line, like I said earlier, they are revamping their entire helmet line, and for around the $170 price point, this is going to come in below the SS5100. If you bump to the 5100, really what you're going to get there is a composite shell with 3 different shell sizes. You will lose the internal drop-down sun visor because this little guy does have that internal drop-down sun visor on the inside. The one thing to note here is that I wish it went down just a little bit further to maximize coverage when you're using it. But when you're looking at bumping up to the 5100, going from a $170 price point up to like a $320 price point is a pretty significant bump. What I'd expect to see from Speed and Strength as they continue to revamp their line is they'll probably slot in something in between for that in-between price shopper. Now, when we're talking about pricing, just keep in mind that we do have the price match guarantee at RevZilla, so regardless of what you're shopping for, you are guaranteed to get the lowest price. So moving along to what you're going to see with the helmet, let's start off with the ventilation. Really clear actuation to the chin vent. You are going to have dual chimney vents up top. And one of the things that I really like is even with gloves on your hand, you can easily open and close those vents. When we're taking a look at the face shield on this, one of the things that I will note is that I actually like this face shield a lot more than the one that we saw on the 5100. That being said, the gasket isn't perfect. It's one of the sacrifices you make when you're shopping around the $170 mark. The gasket does have a few areas where you can see it doesn't fully close against, but it's much better in my opinion than what you're going to see for the SS5100. So moving right along, that little actuator on the left-hand side is going to be where you can utilize that drop-down sun shield. And what you will notice as well is that for the actual shape of the helmet, much more aggressive than what we've seen from Speed and Strength in the past. So really kind of like an aggressive Hawks build at the front of this, something like I'd expect to see from AGV, to be completely honest with you. So they are taking their line of helmets in more of an aggressive, sporty position. So moving along to the back, we talked about those front vents. The vents along the back of the helmet are just passive vents. So they're really controlled. If you open up the front vents, it gives you a place for all that hot air to exhaust to the back. If you close those front vents off, the rear vents, they're just going to sit there open. They're not going to be able to really allow any air to pass through because there's no air coming in from the front. Now, my biggest nitpick with the helmet is really going to be with the graphics. One of the things that I've really seen from Speed and Strength in the past is they have been constantly improving their graphics, much like we've seen from HJC. I think HJC does a very good job with graphics and colors at the price point in which they're marketing. Speed and Strength, up until this point, I think has done a very good job as well. This particular helmet, the graphic feels a little bit plastic to me. When you're looking at the black, it has this kind of distressed silver, but it doesn't really have an authentic feel. The other thing to note is that you have this Speed and Strength logo done in a sticker in the front. Now, this is a pre-production model, so I'm going to give them a pass until I see the actual production model. But when you're looking at the sticker, it can easily be peeled off. It's actually starting to peel up a little bit as it is. Same thing, you can actually see it really good in the back. The sticker that we have in the back that just says Speed is already starting to peel off there. Now, what I'd like to see is that they just simply put a clear coat over top of this to stop that from happening. Or if they leave this the way it is, it works out really well for folks that don't want graphics because you can simply peel those stickers off and then you have a no-name helmet. So that would be my nitpick. But again, you're looking at a helmet around the $170 mark. Let's take a look at the inside. Pull out the face shield. You do have a chin spoiler on this as well. Or pull out the face shield. Pull out the cheek pads. The chin spoiler is a 2-design piece. So you have this little Velcro piece that comes off from the middle part. And then if you want to, you can remove the rest of that spoiler as well. That just pops right out. I'm just going to leave it in for right now. Pulling out the rest of the cheek pads. The one thing I want to point out as we take a look at the speaker pockets It's really easy to see the speaker pockets in this one because they're a lot lower than what we've seen from other helmets. To me, the speaker cutout should be slightly higher up to fit perfectly square against my ears. Really what I've noticed with this helmet is when you put it on, the speaker pockets actually sit slightly around your earlobes, maybe a little bit below that even. So while it does have speaker cutouts, I would like to see this kind of pushed a little bit higher up in future iterations. Pulling out the rest of the liner, you're going to see really simple design of the liner, but again, you're going to use a brow mount to this, so no undue pressure points to the forehead. Simple design, nothing too much to talk about there. And as we take a look at the inside, if you look at the channeled cutouts, very shallowed channel cutouts. So, as we talk about the depth of the ventilation and the improved ventilation if you get up into more expensive helmets, with this very basic design, the channels aren't cut out very deeply, and therefore the air isn't going to pass as freely through the top of the head. So maybe in a future iteration, we just get some deeper channeled cutouts in there. But again, those are some of the sacrifices you make when you're looking at a helmet around the $170 price point. But all things considered, you're getting a DOT helmet with an ECE rating. 3 pounds 7 ounces in a large is relatively lightweight, especially considering the price point, and you do have 2 shell sizes to choose from to better fine-tune exactly how big the helmet looks when it's sitting on your shoulders. So for those of you out there that want more information about currently who's riding in this and what they think, now would be the time you can click the info button on your desktop or mobile device. You can read other rider reviews from folks that are already out there putting this helmet through its paces, and then you can also reach out to one of our gear geeks at 877-792-9455 or simply shoot an email over to cs@RevZilla.com. I want to thank you for joining us for this look at the Speed and Strength 2100 helmet. I'm Spurge. Enjoy the ride.